Well, I got to tell you, I got a really cool comment, a question, loaded, lots in it. All right, this is what it said. It said, I just discovered that you have a YouTube channel. Now, that's already interesting. Like, that implies that maybe I exist somewhere else for this person, right? Other than in this YouTube space. I can't believe that has all that crazy discoloration in it. All right, we'll get back to that. All right. So, all right, interesting. This is coming from someone named Iris. I will not give the complete name. Anyway, the complete username. So, I've been meaning to ask you how you determine if a waterman has a flexible nib or not without trying it out. So that's loaded. It's saying a lot about waterman nibs and how flexible they are and how one determines whether or not a flexible nib really is. Well, there's the world we lived in and the world we're living in, right? And the world we lived in was a world where we would try a thing out, right? This is a great nib. And I bought this pen because of this nib. And this was a long time ago. A long time ago, even. I don't know if you can see how flexible this nib is, and we'll get into it in a minute, but look at that thing. Yeah, that's a good nib. That's a good, useful, flexible nib right there. Now, we can talk about that, and we're going to. I love this. See how it flexes? That's pretty good. All right, so what more do you have to say over here? Very interesting perspective. Fascinating, because it's not necessarily in agreement with how things actually happened in the real world at the time when this stuff was current. It's presumptuous. It imposes contemporary thinking onto this older idea, and it's strange. Okay. Oh, it just is. All right. So, I've come across a couple Watermans, but the number of the nib wasn't visible. Of the nib unit, I'm sorry. I've come across a couple Watermans, but the number of the nib unit wasn't visible. All right, that's fascinating to me. Nib unit. There was no such thing as a nib unit, really, and there kind of sort of still isn't. I mean, nib units are a new, interesting marketing idea, and the idea is that you have the excuse me for clearing my throat constantly, but I need to apparently. A nib unit is a combination of the nib, the feed. What a gorgeous feed that is. Okay, I could wax poetic about it forever. And shoved into the section right here. Forgive my unattractive nails and my dried out fingers because it's winter and I don't care. So you have this combination here that's all built in. Do. It's a nib, a feed, and a section all crammed together, and it screws in or out. All right, that's a nib. That's a nib unit. That's a very rare thing. The Wall Eversharp Personal Point came up with that idea. I'm gonna move my cute little thing here over to here. All right, there you go. Oh shoot, not that. Gosh darn it. It's over here somewhere. There it is. All right. This is, by the way, before I even show you the that, right? This stuff. This is all the. There you go. The nib unit stuff. Actually, I should show you this right now. Right now. This is the Eversharp, the Wall Eversharp nib unit thing. So look at that. That is cool as hell. It's all built into this thing. It's a single unit. Amazing. There you go. Well, was fascinating. Like, even in the 20s, when they were still making kind of semi-bespoke nibs, because all of these nibs were hand-finished. They were all, machine-made, but still hand-finished. It's fascinating what they did with these things. I'm going to put this over here for a second while I try to get to the next thing I want to show you. That was a new idea of, like, kind of making something sort of standardized. That was a new concept at the time. That was really interesting and innovative in a lot of ways. But we're losing a lot when we go that route, when we go that far. What we're trying to do is make something that's this perfect mix of, predictably well made, but also hand finished. And this nib is a great example of it. And we're going to get to this whole idea of how do we find a nib that's really flexible, right? Like, this looks very flexible, and it would look it. And in many ways it is very flexible, but in some ways it's not. It's an accountant nib. Basically, I don't know if it was deliberately advertised as such, but that's what it is. It took me a full month of using this thing, and I'll dip it in a moment to show you. But it took me a full month of using it to care about this nib and to figure out why it matters. Okay. Anyway, so we'll go on with this comment here, which is loaded. Fascinating. So the number of the nib unit wasn't visible, implying that there's something significant about the number of the nib unit. And I think what this person's really talking about is the imprint of the size of the nib, and that's not so significant either. That just simply is saying that this is the size of the nib relative to our other offerings this year. All right, the number 5 is the first of the truly oversized nibs. The 4 is also, it's a little bit of an oversized nib, but it was always in a 52 sized pen, so it's kind of like a fancy nib for not a smaller pen, but a standard sized pen, which is good. I mean, it doesn't get the credit it deserves necessarily, but the oversized pens are, obviously really cool. I've got to dip these things and play with them in a second. I really can't wait. But anyway, I just want to kind of go through this again. So, I have been trying to learn more about them in order to avoid buying a rigid nib. Well, good luck. I mean, here's the thing, you went to the store and you tried it out. It's like buying a pair of shoes or buying an acoustic guitar. You just have to go there and do it, And if you can't, well, you have to kind of wing it. We're all in this together. We all have this problem. Is that the flexible nib we want? Are the tines long enough? Is the nib thin enough? That's actually not super thin. I want to show you something interesting, because these things are very contradictory. They really are, oftentimes. Actually, you know what? I'm going to show you right now. I love this nib. It took me a month of using it constantly to care about it, and I haven't played with it in a very long time, and I really am quite looking forward to playing with it for a little bit. So let's just do that, right? Oh, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play a little bit of music if I can find it. It's over here somewhere. Don't worry, it won't be too loud. It'll be just fine. Is that it? No. Goodness gracious. There it is. Yes, thank you. Okay. All right, so here we go. So now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a little dip here, all right? Do a little writing with this pen. And this is a pen that took me, as I said, like a good, I don't know, I would say a month to get to know, at least, or to care about. And I haven't played with it in a long time, and it's not even writing at all, which is just, that's the perfect denouement we want. It should be writing. Here, aha. Almost. Wow, that is a thirsty. Okay, it's probably not as wet as you could possibly imagine. Let's see what we have here. Aha. That should be a relief. Okay. okay? Fabulous. This is fabulous. It took me a tremendously long time to care about this nib. I love it. It's fantastic. Now, why am I bringing it up? Because it's not... I don't think this is a nib that Waterman's would have called its most flexible, right? Yeah. Not that flexible. Oh, I've already run out. But anyway, you get the idea, right? That's a pretty flexible nib. But it's not that super flexible. It's kind of, in the mid-20s, Waterman's kind of just did that, right? It's kind of how they made their nibs. So you kind of have to get to know each manufacturer, each pen, or, each style, each era, kind of sort of over time. Waterman's really couldn't help but make a pretty flexible nib in the 20s, certainly, still, and even in the 40s. When they were making manifold nibs, they just did that. They were anomalous in that way, right? Now, if you look at other pens, I have to show you this right now. All right, this is just if you really want to get to know a great pen and a great nib. This was a real surprise for me, because when I first wrote with it, I was like, wait a minute, it's not that flexible, right? And it's ridiculously flexible. But it didn't reveal itself. Now, I can only hope that after having been filled for so long and not used with as much abandon as it really deserves. There you go. Oh my God, it still writes. This is crazy. This is insane. It's insane. It's insane. I mean, I can't stop it. I just can't stop using this pen. It's stunning. All right, it's just absolutely outrageous. I have to go here and go like this. It's beautiful. I love it. Anyway, so what makes this nib so amazing? Yeah, it's everything, and it's not obvious. You can't just see it immediately. It doesn't look that incredible, does it? It looks good, but it doesn't look amazing. It just doesn't look like anything. It's thin, though. It's thin. You got to see that. That's what you need to see. Right there. It's unbelievable. Killer nib. Killer everything. This might be my favorite pen of all time. And that feed, simple, elegant, capacious. It holds so much ink. It looks so elegant and thin, but it holds so much ink. It's such a beautiful design. Simple, elegant. This is my desert island pen. There's no question. I probably shouldn't have shown it off yet, but I do want to show you a couple other things, all right? And go back to this comment, if I can make any sense of it. Here's the thing. You know, when you're out there looking for stuff, right? Here are some pens that I found in the real world, all right? And I knew they were cool because I could flex them, you know? I mean, if you can't flex them, you've got to see a writing sample. If you can't get a writing sample, then you've got to, you got to work with other stuff, right? So here's this pen, Diamond Point. How cool, all right? I've already been unscore you. It's got a bazillion turns it takes. And here's this cute little simple, elegant warranted nib. But look at those long tines. You want to see long tines. You want to see that they're thin. You know, that's a good. You know it is. And here's the thing. I went to the flea market, right, and I had some paper. Don't be afraid to use paper, right? Right. Use some paper, and then just flex that little thing. So what does it do? What does it do? All right, it's a flex, right? I give you a little flex, right? Oh, hey. So I know this is gonna work. I'm not going crazy. I'm just writing with the thing. This is fun. This was not an expensive pen. And I saved it from the dump. This is great. Not bad at all. Right? What a hoot. I mean, there are other pens about. Yes, there are. I have others to show you. We're getting to that point where you've had enough. But, it's all about try it out. If you can't try it out, get a writing sample. Guess. How long and thin are the tines, right? You don't want it to be too fat and then to Let me show you something that's a good example of something simultaneously to use as a marker and something to avoid. Sort of. All right. Here's this amazing wall from the late 1920s. All right. Great pen. I love this thing. This one's unusual. Now, here's the thing. Now, usually when you see a nib like this, see how short those tines are? You're thinking to yourself, that's going to be an inflexible nib, but haha, look at that. It's a Wall Ever Sharp number 2 signature nib. Yeah, baby. That's great. And you know what it does? I'll tell you what it does. It's got some flex, baby. It's a fine, delicate line, but it flexes. It's really pretty. Like, let's see what I can do with it. Yeah. Look nice. It's got a really pretty, elegant line. Yeah. Yeah, it's elegant. It's great. Again, you can't judge a book by its cover. Oh, it's got a lot of hair, doesn't it? That was a mistake. Anyway. But trust me on this. You've got to do a lot of feel. It's all feel. Thanks a million, guys. I'll give you more later.